all this love and affection. Normally I would be scared, but I'm aware that you're special. So let me take us somewhere where we could be alone. When I look at you, I see a pretty picture. You're the sun, I'm the sky, and we're so complete. Let me water you, my flower, I'll teach you how to open up real nice, baby. Why don't we give it a go? Let's dive in a pool of love and sweet. Why don't we give it a go? See, there's nothing else.
Good evening, folks. Well, good morning, actually. This is Black Shade Floral 226 coming at you. And I wanted to have an open discussion and vlog about this serious matter that has bothered me. And I wanted to really talk about it, get it off my chest, and just really touch topic and express the seriousness of it. It's bothering me because it will actually it's actually helpful and a good idea if I do express it. So let me just go ahead and get started for you. I titled it Just an Elaboration of the BBL Movement, Just Keeping Things Real and Talk. So I have it here that I've written in numerous pages here. And so I'm going to read it for you and for the discussion. So hopefully you have patience and are willing to sit through it and listen, and will not grow impatient when you hear what I have to say and talk about. And just bear with me while I express what's been bothering me and what I feel needs to be expressed about the issue so that I put it out there. And I've done my job, my duty at expressing the problem and not withholding it and burying it, because I know that that's unhelpful and it won't help the cause, and I don't want to just die at taking the burden with me and having nothing really done about it, because I know I'm not the only young Black female that struggles with this issue, that has emotionally struggled and found this sort of issue difficult to express and talk about without upsetting a few people who may disagree about what they think the age is about. But I feel like this issue has been ignored and is a struggle for the Black female, because there is such a thing called Black female emancipation. I'm actually coming around to learning what it is, but why I feel I understand it. I actually heard about it, heard it mentioned in another vlog of another vlogger who discusses war, just war, armory tools, and warfare and weapons. So, yes, the reason why I feel I can talk about it, why I understand it, is because I can sense its meaning. I sensed its meaning when I heard it. So let me just discuss. The Black is Beautiful love movement isn't only when two people come together to celebrate racial and interrace unity. As a person of color myself, there were chance opportunities to see this between my parents. But the unfortunate case for me was that my parents were strict raisers. So there wasn't any time for me to actually witness this sort of love between them often. And my time, my one instance of seeing them affectionate, it had actually been a rare and singled out occasion that I still recall. But it wasn't something that I saw between them often. Bringing us up, since I come from a family of parents of with two biological brothers, I, their big sister, along with our girl cousin, who we took in as our sister, life with our parents had been about the financial conditions of our house home. My cousin was unofficially a social butterfly, something that I hoped to be myself, since I'm a Libra and I've read that Libras can do that, and would take to people like a stray pet animal, and somehow, like a miracle, would come out friends with them. She had a unique way to how she made friends and would come out championing their confidences. I was different and had very, very few friends. I know that I would have desired to ace hook their friendship outside of school and after graduating too. It would have been what I wanted and how I wanted it. My two brothers were lucky in school with their friends in that they had friends of all races under the sun and rainbow. Some as our sister, some, some as our sister cousin, same as our sister cousin, excuse me. But my experience with friends and friendships had been obscurely distant and not as openly broad as I had hoped. Being a young person of color, I had a few peer friends who were girl peers of color I was friends with, but I wasn't always all socially there with them, meaning that I still had so much to learn about our culture. And I didn't date like them. I wasn't a dated girl in school. So there was so much left for me to learn about the culture and its problems and situations were so numerous for me. And I was just a young person coming around to understanding these things at the time. I had the chance to do it, if I had the chance to do it over again and change how things were like between me and them and socially open up more to them and let them understand me better, then I'd jump at the chance and take it just to make the past experience more worthwhile. It would have meant so much to me being able to do that and still knowing them years after school would be the ideal overall chance experience for me. I wish I had the gift of being able to correspond with friends my overall daily life, and my importantly personal time for it. My net and circle of friends would have greatly expanded, exceeded, exceedingly. My obscure loneliness. Being an average black person, the ability to keep up at maintaining friends is a human struggle. Racial stereotypes and an unacknowledged prejudices keep up the social barrier that denies social acceptance's essentialness, which is why I bring up the Black Beautiful Love movement. It may celebrate and include racial diversiveness, too, for the colored person's point of being. It is the most important time for them to purport their number of friends in order to socially agree with them in civility. All in time. That is ideal, but I learned that one must be aware of where they come from when considering their social crowd to flock. Being so young and craving diverseness with obtaining a number of friends to be able to socialize with, you're not too aware that your young, immature brain isn't responsible enough to know that statistical truth, especially when your skin, when, especially, at being able to maintain them. You're left to your own devices to learn how to for yourself. It is especially hard when your skin in school is several shades darker than the student fold. And at schools, white students are more socially better off culturally with their civil rights and common opportunities than their colored students are, who are left to learn the harsh honesty of their probability of the number of friends they'll make. And the statistic numbers are much more dismally at odds with culturally foreign students who are born Haitian or Nigerian than the African American students of most recently moded school education of modernly capable society. With me thinking back about school, I realized that whites stuck by their peers of the same race, very much like African Americans black stuck with by their peers with them. And that had been my experience at school, what I observed. So it felt very much like racial segregation to me still, because they would sit apart with their own peers. And I didn't have the opportunity to witness a lot of interracial unity and diverseness. I just noticed how I would just notice how well the white students would appear, and how attractive they were and well dressed, and would see them in droves, in groups together, especially in the open court of the school and in the cafeteria during lunch. You would it's not in real life. It's not like how you see it in movies, where they you'll see a black student at a table or two, one or two, a black student or two at a table, sitting and talking with white students and some Hispanics and whites just peppered around being there. And I saw how society failed to develop itself, but would rather improve inside of the statistically real race numbers of a school and rather ran off with the white advantaged civil opportunities of representative white society. Black is beautiful love should teach those who are racially unlike advantage fairer skinned culture how to respect and not take for granted colored culture where the shade of color of their skin is an oppressive struggle. They should be made aware that it is an oppressive struggle for students of color and that the struggle and sort of difficulty like it is ongoing. In black lit, black film entertainment, and pre-commonly black news and sourced social culture, we face this sort of struggle every day. It's not going to wish itself away by just going away, just because we try to ignore it, but I believe God predestines those who he is built, who he has built emotionally strong enough to take in the true fighting argument about the struggle and thoughtfully face every coming day. In spite of the burgeoning insecurity at being and looking different from the palatable, white, fairer, lighter framed, attractively emotional persons of the white communities they happen to frequent on life business matters, wherever it takes them. I come from the TV culture era of Black is Beautiful Love, of modern TV, and the Black and I'm Proud movements, culture movements. When I learned at 12 and 13 the need to love and embrace social peers who are the same race as you. Love Jones was a movie that beautifully taught me that. So did the movie Set It Off with actresses Vivica A. Fox, Queen Latifah, otherwise known as Dana Elaine Owens, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Kimberly Elise. And it was a black feminist movie that taught me how to grasp my mind and take chances before the opportunity is something missed. So I really appreciate and enjoyed those movies. And it's why I've mentioned them here. Their movies taught me at a young age to embrace my same race peers and to love them as well as love being around them. Love Jones informed me about young adult intimate love between guys and young ladies, something I've yet to experience since strangely I found myself forgetting to love and enjoy being around them when the cartoons and long running Fox TV shows like The X Files and Ally McBeal would come on TV. And whenever my mother would have us shut the TV off. Sadly, Ally McBeal was harmless but didn't express the interracial love between men and women, but between the like-sexed female peers of Lisa and Ally. And Lisa was a color female to the show who was roommates with Ally. That was all the interrace love and friendship expressed right there in the entire show between the two ladies, the two lady friends. I would count Ling and Ali, but Ling is Asian, and unlike Lisa, I've just realized the two have yet to meet. The show then continued parading whites in spite of her one colored friend, and I dare mention the show Felicity, that did nothing to inspire me about going to college. After watching their love trysting episodes and feeling nothing close to them, but witnessing how seated their white peers and characters linked into social white culture, while the show's creators would only give the tired, dusty old nod of colored acknowledgement when a guest starring token black character was cleverly put in place to quiet inquiring, knowledgeable blacks of the watching viewership incoming who liked the show and dutifully tuned in. All this time, I've waited for intelligent black movies to come along in numerous droves, as muchly as Fox and its list of canceled shows tallied. That years later, what I have to look forward to, besides intelligent black romantic and comedic movies and films, is The Woman King, is by all sayings, the ultimate letdown to all expectation, to the hope and age of black film. I realized that most of the years of my life had been that silent hope of intelligent BBL films. I watched, I waited most vital years of my life for, but wasn't intelligently awakened enough to be aware of it to say some sort of complaint about that. All of these white flicks later, while I dormantly waited for blacks to be sensibly as well as reasonably included, casts down my cleverly sharp expectations prospectively. Whites share and take back their movements at times from learning minds of color when they inexplicably fall out, which is left unexplained, which I later came to realize was a cowardice tact of failing to admit they were uninspired by race color. These days, now that I'm reminded of the Black is Beautiful love movement, Black civil rights, and Black power movements, as well as Black liberation movements, abbreviated the BLA, called Black Liberation Army, as I forgot to acknowledge these things and fell into the hypocrisy of ignoring the lessons and facts about the societal developments of those movements. I also admit the hypocrisy for a Haitian young female at ignoring such relevant symbolism of such movements, hintingly expressed in movies, because a lot of relevational black films detailing black history and its movements lack sense of understanding and supporting minds, are are ignored. They are ignored in stagnating rejection. By the social age of net groups and group networks that Facebook represents, they're not counted amongst popular movies, and people have lacked the mental breakthrough of mature responsibility in mind, like humanitarians who support Black social justice and never cease forgetting their representative to its cause. To purchase and upkeep these sorts of movies educationally while white cultures move onwards and Black culture faces the actual falling back of and active denial and social dissociation from supporters who come from other race cultures, who just grow tired of carrying the banner of active supporting awareness and acknowledging racial injustice and inequality, and have grown suddenly tired of rallying, find themselves wanting to move on because they are not folk who are aware they are colored every day they exist, like the Negroing living individual being is. So I put a solemn emotional hold on the psychological stresses of such an event, and instead grasp my sense of focus at reading about such relevanting matters whenever I can, and have the sheer will in me to be able to discuss the subject when it matters, and that the Black female emancipation and Black female misogyny can be overcome for the struggling Black young woman trying to out survive the standing, oppressively limiting institutions that denies her her outcoming love, and that in spite the color movements, a woman of color may find her soul. I leave that to be continued. And so I'm going to bring this up in another discussion where I talk more elaborately about what Black female emancipation is, and sort of bring what I grasp, what I actually grasp of it, in addition to what it educatively means, and just inform viewers who keep up with my vlogging about it, who are interested and who are following, and have opinions to express about it, though I ask the opinions to be respectively expressed. No racial cuss words, no racial comments about persons of color, because if you're racist and listening to this, you just get offended at listening to it, then this is not for you. You shouldn't be listening. You shouldn't be following this because you're getting upset and you're not watching this as someone who wants to be able to express a cause. You understand? For it, or has an opinion to express collectively about what you think can be done and what you've gathered so far and know thus far to be able to share with others, at being able to make a social change so that others who happen upon it, this vlog, will read comments and be able to even other vloggers who vlog will read comments, watch the vid, and be able to make judgments about what they think can justify ongoing social complaint, which is what this vlog is, a societal complaint. So I leave it at that there. And I'm going to come back at you with another vlog discussing the subject matter I just told you about black female emancipation and misogyny. And I'll set it there and pause that there so that come right back at it. And so I'm going to review this and then bring myself back at you with the matter, and we'll talk. So I ask that you be nice in your comments, be nice with your opinion, express them nicely, respectably, and we can talk about it. And you're free to express your disagreements. That's is perfectly okay, as long as you respectfully do it, and not disrespect anything, not disrespect people by saying anything racially careless and discouraging, just to discourage the cause, just to be noisy and to break people and groups up, just commenters who post as part of the collective. So I'll let it there at that, and we'll talk again. And I bid you adieu for now, and thanks for tuning in. I ask that you keep watching and be patient with me. I'm only trying my best to come at you understandably, to where you can understand me and what I'm saying. So thank you for your patience. And if you like to keep following, please do. So I bid you adieu, and thanks. Bye.